What is up, YouTube? Your girl is back with another video, and today we are mastering pure white candy apples. Now, I got a lot of requests on Instagram, a lot of people asking, hey, how do you get your candy apples so pure white? When I make mine, it's always cream or it always burn. So today we're gonna overcome our fears and we're gonna master making these candy apples. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Granny Smith candy apples. I use Granny Smith apples because the tartness, it kind of pairs well with the sweetness of the actual candy that you're going to dip your apples in. And as you can see, these apples are filthy. They are covered in dirt and they are covered in wax. And I'm going to show you guys how to get bubble-free, wax-free candy apples. So you're going to start off with a pot of boiling water and you're going to add just a splash of white vinegar. And to make the dipping process a little bit easier, you will need a mesh strainer. This is something that I have that's just big enough for the apple. Any size is fine. And then you're going to need a clean, dry cloth. So once your water comes to a boil, you are going to drop your apple in just like so. And you are going to swirl it around and make sure that your entire apple gets washed off. And this will make it super easy for you to literally wipe off any excess wax off the apples. If you skip this step, there is a chance that your apples can, have ugly, nasty bubbles and it'll look like your apples have the mumps, and we don't want that. So once you swish around your apple for 10 to 15 seconds, you are going to wipe it dry. I suggest doing this immediately. I have experimented and done it where I dipped them and set them off to the side and the wax didn't come off as easily. So just go ahead and wipe your apples off as soon as it comes out of the water. So depending on how many apples you have, you're just going to repeat this step. Make sure all of your apple meets the water and vinegar solution, and your apples will be wax free. Also, if I have an order for candy apples, let's say for a Saturday, I clean Tuesday or Wednesday. So you want to make sure you complete this process at least 24 to 48 hours prior to you needing to dip your candy, prior to you dipping your apple in the candy mixture. And later on in the video, I'll show you guys why. So this is what your apples will look like after cleaning. As you can see, they're not really super shiny anymore. They're like a matte green, and that's how you know that you have successfully removed all of the wax from your apples. So I literally stick mine face down on a cookie sheet, and then I just sat them on my dining room table for a minimum of 24 to 48 hours. And then after that, we will come back to dip them. So it has been 48 hours since we've cleaned our apples, and as you can see, the apple is full of condensation. So this is why I told you guys you don't want to dip immediately, that you want to wait those 2 days, because those little juicy bubbles will eat through your candy, and then you'll have pinholes covering your candy apple. So it's important to actually let them sit. And if you want to speed up this process, please refer to my frozen candy apples to see how I did that. So now we have to wipe the condensation off. So you're going to need a wet napkin and a dry napkin. And prior to dipping, you are going to wipe off all of the little juice balls that are on the apple. And it comes off super easy. You don't have to scrub them. You literally just wipe the apple down with your wet napkin. And then you go behind with the dry napkin. I suggest using another cookie sheet because you don't want any of the excess water or apple drippings on the bottom of the pan that you're going to use after you dip your apples. So you're just going to repeat this process until all of your apples are nice and clean and rid of any apple juice condensation. So all of my apples are clean. So it's time to insert our candy apple sticks. So I got mine from bambooimports.com. They sell them at Loaranns, Walmart. You can find candy apple sticks anywhere. So you want to be careful and make sure that we are placing our candy apple sticks in the apple while it's actually sitting on a flat surface. You don't want to do it in your hand. For presentation purposes, you don't want your sticks to be crooked and they leaning with it, rocking with it. So make sure you place your apple down flat first and then you insert your sticks, and this just ensures that all of your sticks are standing upright. And then if your apples are displayed on a candy table, that everything looks uniform and that it looks clean for your customers. So we have successfully put in all of our candy apple sticks. They are all up straight. So now it's time to start our candy mixture. So we're going to start off with some granulated sugar. You need a dry measuring cup, and this is a 1 cup sized cup. You need white icing, Wilton's white icing color. And this is what is going to give our candy apples that, milky white look. Karo syrup. And then you're going to need a wet measuring cup for your wet ingredients. I have a medium to large size pot with a spatula, and then I prefer using the digital candy apple thermometer. Whatever suits you is fine. So in our pot, we are going to add 3 cups of the granulated sugar. 1 cup water, and a 1/2 cup of the Karo light corn syrup. So once you have all of your ingredients in the pan, you're going to go ahead and stir it around until all of the water and sugar dissolves, evenly. Now, normally when I make candy apples, we're putting it all together, but we're not with this one. So our flavor, this is what I forgot to add earlier. We're also going to flavor these candy apples pineapple flavor, but we're going to set the icing in the pineapple flavor aside and we'll save it for later. So as I was saying, normally I would color, if I were doing colored candy apples, I would color it, once I mix my sugar and everything around. But because we're making white, we're going to add that last. So you want to put your stove on high, and we need the temperature to get to 302 degrees. At 302 degrees, that is the candy crack stage. So once we get there, we will move to the next step. So we're at 261, and as you can see, the candy is starting to thicken up a little bit. We still have a ways to go, but this is how you can tell that your candy is close to done. I still would not eyeball it. Always use your thermometer. So our candy has reached 302 degrees. I am going to remove our candy thermometer. We're going to add our whole bottle of flavoring and about 2 tablespoons of the white icing. and then you're going to spread it together. So we save this step for last, and this just ensures that the white does not burn or turn cream. This is how you prevent that from happening. You do it once the candy is done. So you really want to make sure that you stir this mixture well, because some of the clear spots can cause your candy to kind of swirl. So you just want to make sure that all of it is mixed in and incorporated properly, so that you get a pure solid white candy apple. So it's time to dip. Now it's also the OCD in me, like you have to cover the entire apple. So make enough mixture so that you're able to coat all of your apples. And as you can see, our apple is still snow white. And then you're going to repeat this process until all of your apples are dipped. And it's also important to drain off any excess candy, so the bottom of your apples do not have coasters. Another concern that people bring up to me is that their candy mixture kind of thickens before they can dip all their apples. I promise you, if you follow this recipe to the T, as you can see, I'm dipping. I have dipped as many as 50 apples at a time by doubling and tripling my recipe, and not once has it thickened to the point that I couldn't dip anymore. I was able to dip all 50 with no problem. So please make sure your measurements are correct, and if so, you will be able to, just like clearly, your candy apple mixture will stay at this point so that you're able to dip all of your apples with no problem. Guys, this is honestly my favorite color. I love the crisp and clean look of a pure white candy apple. Like, it's undefeated. Clean, no coaster bottoms, and our entire apple is dipped. There will be no green showing. They are so pretty. See, our mixture is still very loose after we dip all of our apples. So this is the end result to our recipe. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys try this recipe, please let me know in the comments down below. Find my Instagram. The handle is at the beginning of the video, and I'll leave it in the description box below. Let me know how your candy apples turn out. And I do have a bonus coming soon. I am going to turn these candy apples 24 karat gold, so stay tuned.